Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Last week we heard about the Shahidiyan caused by Zakaria Khan, and during all this history, one point to note is that the spirit of the Khalsa never changed. This was due to the great Jathedars we had, their leadership and their efforts to make sure the Singhs remained in Chardikala. One of the changes during this time was the introduction of the Khalsa Bol Baley. These Bole, or language of the Singhs that became famous worldwide, was born during this Bhayanak Sama of the early 18th century, when there was a reward for the head of a Singh, and the Singhs had to go and live in deep jungles, in the caves and in the mountains. It is well known that what you speak, the words you use, what you say has an important effect on you as well as of those around you. This is explained in Gurbani as well as in our practices such as the Amrit Sanchar, where the blessed words of Nitnem create Amrit from Jal and Patase. With this in mind, the great Gursikhs like Nawab Kapoor Singh Ji and others would use new words that would take the Sikh Sangat through these tough times and keep the spirits high. These strong Bole of the Khalsa had four main effects. Firstly, Atam Gaurav. These words promoted self-respect and high spirits. Jinnah de bolan naal surat Chardikala with jandi si. If you ever want to see an example of Chardikala of the Sikh Qaum, then all you have to do is look at the Khalsa Bole. Even after having close family and friends shaheed, after starving for months, not having a place to rest, par bor bale sun ke idda lagda si ke eh Singh ta raj karde hai. You would have never thought that they were going through all this dukh. The words that were designed in such a way that negatives would be turned into positives. For example, if you seen a single Sikh approaching, they wouldn't say ki akalla aa raha. Instead, Gursikhs would say ki fauja aiya, that an army has arrived. Or as per the bachan of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, Sawa Lakh se ek ladao, tabay Gobind Singh naam kawao. They would call one Singh Sawa Lakh. Another example is when someone passes away, in the spirit of Chardikala, we don't say ki oh mar gaya or he died. We say ki Khalsa Fateh gajaunda, jad chalai kar gaya, that the Gursikh has moved on to the next part of his journey. Another example, the Mughals hunting the Singhs in the jungles would have pockets full of almonds and raisins, food that is a sign of royalty and wealth. And those who they were hunting, the Singhs, could only dream of having such foods. They would have kache shole, but as the Khalsa would eat these, they would say ki aao badam shakiye. Oh, sholeyan nu hi badam keh ke tasalli kar lende si. They would be satisfied and content. Any leaves and vegetables they could find would be cooked together, and the Singhs would case ke sabz pulao, ke ek tarah di sabzi tayar hogi. This was the simple food of the Singhs, but due to the wording they used, even the most bland food would be viewed as Rajya da Khana, feast for the kings, keeping the morale and spirits forever rising. Another example of this, the Singhs would say they have just ate jalebiyan, but actually that was the word for jandiya phaliyan, a type of simple produce that grows on a specific tree. Dudh no samundar kehna, and makki or corn flour was named basantakar, referring to its colour. The list is long, and this is just a few examples of how the Singhs would remain in Chardikala. The second effect of using these words is that they displayed and shared the Khalsa's wisdom. Living in the jungles, always on the move, you couldn't get the best education. They would just learn Gurmukhi, and then whenever there was time of peace, they would learn other topics from each other. But the use of these bowls also provided some knowledge too. For example, they would call loon or salt sarbaras, which highlighted the properties of salt, that it adds flavour or ras to all different types of food. Is tarah, the Khalsa named mirch spice as laraki, highlighting its quality too. The sota was referred to as akaldan, as an item that provides sense or wisdom and makes the others be on their best behaviour. Another example is calling a diva as ujagar, something that gives gyan, something that gives light. The third effect is that the Khalsa Bole would encourage development of aesthetic sense or etiquette in wording. And this displayed the qualities of the Khalsa as well. Words that were normally hard sounding or negative words would be completely transformed into beautiful sounding words. For example, instead of saying jutti or shoe, they would call it Ardaas. Prashada instead of roti. Saja no tankha kehnde si, that a punishment from the Khalsa is actually a salary, a blessing in disguise. Instead of saying ki pag banle, for the Khalsa is distar sajali. Karshi no dayal kaur, because only due to its compassion does it fill your plate. Also Sangat Ji, what was special about this Khalsa Boli is that it would also develop your nimrata. The words were pleasing to the ear. For example, when they get something materialistic, the Khalsa would say कि Guru kiyan khushiyan. When someone praises them, the Singhs would say कि Guru Sahib Ji di kirpa. Practically, Ardaas has seen this from Guru Sikhs till this day. When you ask them, how are you? They reply in the most beautiful and humble way by saying कि Guru Sahib Ji di daya, compassion, which leaves you in such a sense of amazement and grounding that, wow, even these Guru Sikhs live by the teachings that everything is in Guru Sahib Ji's hands. And we all should ask for Maharaj's compassion, their daya, to keep us on the right path. If something happens to a person that is considered bad or hard to accept, Guru Sikhs would say कि कोई ना गुरु का पाना बरते. Just by hearing these words, it would give you a sense of comfort that everything is fine. The final effect of these words, also known as Garganj Bole or the thundering language of the Singhs, was that it developed nirpeta or fearlessness. For example, from birth, a child is referred not as a larka or a larki. Instead, they would use the powerful word pujangi for a son and pujangan for their daughter. They wouldn't call their home kar, they would say bunga, a fortress, holla khedna instead of jang karna. When Singhs would have a discussion, they would say ke gurmata sodle. Also, for the enemies Zakriya Khan, they would call him Khanu, and Ahmed Shah Abdali Kabli Kutta, removing the fear for these enemies. The Mughals, however, were scared of these Bol Baley because they couldn't understand them. One light-hearted story comes to mind shared by Gyani Sher Singh Ji in their Katha of Pant Prakash. In a small town called Shabad Markanda near Ambala was a small castle said to hold 400 Mughal soldiers. One day, Panj Nihang Singh aake Gurmata kita ke aj we are going to take over this castle. Sangat Ji, 2 Singhs decided to go from the front entrance and 3 made their way to attack from behind the castle. ਜਦੋਂ 2 Singh ਅੱਗੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਏ and they seen the bodyguard who was guarding the entrance to the courtroom, both Singhs ਨੇ ਉੱਚੀ ਜਕਾਰਾ ਗਜਾਇਆ and with their thundering voice, both Singhs ਨੇ ਫਤਿਹ ਬੁਲਾਈ, causing the half-asleep bodyguard to panic and drop his rifle. As he went down to pick the rifle back up, the Singhs said ਕਿ ਬੰਦੂਕ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਪਰੇ, ਖਾਲਸੇ ਦੀ ਫੌਜਾਂ ਆ ਗਈਆਂ. The Singhs have arrived, and the bodyguard panicking asked how many Singhs, ਕਿੰਨੇ ਕੁ ਫੌਜਾਂ ਆ ਗਈਆਂ. The Singhs ਨੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕਿ 2 ਲੱਖ ਫੌਜ ਤਾਂ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਈਆਂ and 3 lakh are coming from behind the castle. Obviously for the Singhs, they just meant that 2 Singhs had arrived, but the Khalsa Bol Baley was used, saying कि 2 lakh have arrived. ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਹਿਰੇਦਾਰ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਦੌੜ ਕੇ he ran towards the ਥਾਣੇਦਾਰ, the officer in charge, and said ਕਿ ਸਿੰਘ ਆ ਗਏ, 500,000 are coming, we need to leave right now, there's only 400 of us, we will get killed. All 400 soldiers fatafat throwing the saddles onto their horses, baar no nikal gaye, leaving the fort empty. Even till this day, the small Kila is referred to as Kila Sikha. This was the power of these Boliyan, and truly the power of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, O Kala vart rahi si, when the Khalsa used these words. Sangat Ji, even just our words would defeat the Mughals. Bhai Ratan Singh Ji also mentions these Boley in our Itihasic Granths. So gatte ko rupa pakha, tutan ko sunehro akha, bhukho raha, mast langar kaha, phu khatam mad belan raha. The Singhs would call onions rupa prasad due to the bronze colour. If the Singhs got hold of a clay pot linked to those who were poor, they would call it sunehra or a golden pot. That was the Chardikala of these bowls, turning the negative into a positive. Keeping the respect for langar, they would never say ke langar khatam ho gaya, they would say ke langar If there was no food and they hadn't eaten in days, they wouldn't say that they were dying or they were starving. They would say कि ये तो खालसे दे जगीरा लग रही है, which refers to the jagira being given, getting your own land, which would mean you could afford and indulge in anything. Sangat Ji, the luxurious food that we get these days, yaad rakhna that our ancestors, when starving, they would think of us. And they would say कि खालसे दे जगीरा लग रही है, meaning the foundation for our future generations is being built. What we eat today, Sangat Ji, is these jagira, this land, this profit that was our ancestors. Because of their sacrifices, think about it. How easy is it for us to say कि oh, I'm starving? But Sangat Ji, these words should never come from our mouths. Never say this, because we are reaping the rewards of our ancestors' sacrifices. We get food multiple times a day, We get respected by all. We get called Sardar Ji, Guru Sahib Ji's Nishan Sahibs are all over the world because of their sacrifices. Not only would this Khalsa Bol Baley develop these traits, Sangat Ji, they would keep the rest of the Sikh Sangat in Chardikala. And it was useful as the Mughals would have no idea what the Singhs were saying. Essentially, over the years, Khalsa Bol Baley had become code words or a Gupta language exclusive only to the Singhs, who on the other hand, having regular contact with the Mughal soldiers, would understand each of their words and their battle tactics. This came in great use over the many battles that happened. There is no doubt, Sangat Ji, that these Bols of the Khalsa strongly contributed to the mentality and character of the Gursikhs during these times. Unfortunately, it's safe to say that a lot of these Khalsa Bol Baley have gone alope over the years. But still, in the Puratan Sampradaya, Taksala and Nihang Jathebandiya especially, they have been able to keep these traditions alive. Some historians record hundreds of words used, split into 3 categories, to be used in Jang Yudh, Khandpan and finally Aam Bol Chal. At the end of this video, we have provided a list of these Khalsa Bol Baley. And Sangat Ji, we should learn and share these words. Every day, just as we remember the Guru Sahibs, the Shaheeds and Maharaji's Nishaniya, we also remember these Bol Baley. As we recite every day in the Ardaas, Khalsa Ji ke Bol Baley, Bolo Ji Vaheguru. That refers to these Bol Baley of the Khalsa Sal, Sangat Ji. Please forgive me for my mistake. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Please like, comment, subscribe and share the video to spread the message of Sikhi. You can make a difference by donating so we can create more content like this. The link is in the description below.